If I ever face challenges, it's been the team that we have has been absolutely amazing. We have our local team, but then we also have regional coordinators and then we have team above them. So I always feel like there's someone I can reach out to that will hold my hand and walk me through whatever I'm confused about or need help with. Very responsive and incredibly supportive. I haven't had to worry about much. There have been obviously some emotional things that come up because this is just a heavy, hard time in both the families' lives and those who are directly connected to them. So, taking that in and acknowledging the emotions that are coming up when situations feel sticky, but also realizing that you're not alone in doing this work. Like you have someone to reach out to if you need help. There's even a chaplain who will talk you through like decompressing your own experience, your own emotions as you walk away from sessions. So that's just knowing that those tools are available has made me feel really supported.
Well, I would say my definite hardest moment was being in the room with the baby because I was there for right after the birth of the baby because it was a fatally ill child that we knew was going to die, but that was born alive. Being in the room as that baby took his last breath, that was extremely difficult. Also very powerful and beautiful at the same time, as far as being able to be there and capture the baby alive as well as the after, and getting to capture those very, very brief moments for the family. But it was also really hard walking away from that and being a part of that and not being overly emotional. And Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep is really great about having support there where you can call somebody if you need to talk to somebody about those things at any time after a session. So I think that that's probably the best thing they have to offer is like basically the counseling and a listening ear after such tough sessions.
Oh, the support's fantastic. I mean, all the way up to administration in Colorado. They all you have to do is pick up the phone or throw an email out, and that's not to mention your local leaders that help. There's ACs, which are our area coordinators, and there are people above the ACs, which they can kind of reach out to. So the support system is wonderful. It's very, very emotional, but once we get in that photography mode and we're there to serve a family, it's like our professionalism kind of takes over. So, I mean, once you get past that first or second session as an affiliated photographer, I'm not going to say it's easier because I've done over 100 sessions and they're all very impactful, especially if you're a compassionate person and you feel all that's in the room. But once you start shooting, it's just like, okay, I'm here to do a job, get the job done, and we leave, and we do leave with emotions. And most of the time, once I leave a session, I actually sit in my truck and just contemplate on what just happened. And on the way home, I appreciate my kids, my husband, my grandkids, and I just want to come home and be with them. So I'm not going to say it's not emotional because it is, but I think it's a great emotion. I think it's a great emotion that we all should have in our hearts.
It's been great. All the people from Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep have been extremely helpful, from starting the process with the application to the Nashville team specifically. We all work really well together, and We try and take as many sessions as we can. The editing part, I was nervous about that because I don't have the most advanced Photoshop skills, but I can do the photography part, and they have the DRAs to help edit it after the fact. And that's part of what I like about the Nashville team is we're all here to help each other. And Carmen specifically, she helped me edit several of my sessions just to get them back quicker. But everyone's been great.
Training videos are great. But in the end, nothing prepares you to walk through that first door. So once I was ready and I'd done all my training, got my badge, I was ready to take the first call. I shadowed our AC at the time, Ann, and we did 3 sessions in one weekend. And that's probably your best training out of everything is shadowing a current photographer. My biggest challenge at some point is the lack of, I don't want to say help because we have a lot of help, but there's times because this is so random that, when a call goes out, it can be at 6 p.m. and we may have 7 photographers, but someone's tied up with school, someone's tied up with kids sports, someone doesn't have a babysitter. So there's been times where I've had 3 sessions in 1 week. And while it's challenging, if I can take it, I'm not going to say no because I know the price of what they're getting.
I would recommend this work to anybody that has a passion for life, photography, even sitting at a desk and working in photography through Photoshop. I mean, there's so many ways that you can volunteer with this work.
I would recommend this work to anyone who has a heart for supporting lost families. Anyone who has themselves been through a loss, or maybe you know someone who has, like a best friend, a sister, a loved one, and you're wondering how you can make this experience better for someone else, or just maybe you just have a skill, a talent, a passion that you feel like could be utilized to support another. I feel like it's such an incredible, compassionate way to show love to others. And if you have room in your life for nonprofit charity work, this is just, I couldn't think of a more worthy organization to give your time to.
Anybody who's lost a baby in this way. I feel like anybody who has experienced this, it's such a beautiful way to give back and to honor those babies that we've lost and kind of keep their name going and giving them a real purpose. There are a lot of amazing opportunities with Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep, like dispatching, just being able to take those calls from the hospital and take the information to give to us photographers. That's such a huge, intricate part of Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep, knowing exactly what the condition of the baby is, the gestation, all of that is super important to our role. So even if you can't be in the room, just taking that information and being able to relay it to us photographers to dispatch out a photographer is super important. As well as if you're on the photography side, if you don't want to be in the room and you are well versed on editing, being a DRA and stuff like that is also a great option if you can handle viewing the pictures without actually having to emotionally be in the room and be with those people directly. You can edit for other photographers.
We've got members that they've suffered the loss of their own babies, and they were able to find ways to help in whatever ways they're comfortable. So I would say if you're unsure of what you can do to volunteer, just reach out to one of your local photographers or team members. They can get you in touch with the regional coordinator or someone around, and we can find a way to get you involved, whether it be in the hospital taking pictures, just editing the pictures, or being that dispatcher, or there's a way for you to volunteer and get involved if you feel called toward this.
One that loves taking pictures. You don't have to be a professional. I'm not a professional. Do I do pictures for people for pay? Yes, occasionally, but it's not my life. It's not my job. I have another job. As long as you're willing to learn, anyone can do it. You don't, yes, it's emotional, but you put that wall up and you go out when you're done, and you go out in your car, and sometimes you shed some tears. But when you look at the big picture of what you're doing and who you're helping, and you get that email from that mama that says, without you, I would not have these pictures. You don't know unless you try. And if you don't, if you try it and you feel you can't do it, sign up to be a DRA.
If you're considering it, just do it. It's totally worth it. It may seem scary and intimidating, but at the end of the day, we're making a difference in families' lives, and that I can't explain how much that's worth.